Well, twice a year, there's like lists. People love to do lists. There's the ones at the end of the year, as we change from numerical year to a new numerical year. And then there's the ones at the end of the school year. And last time I checked, it ain't 2015. So what does that tell you? It's the end of the school year. And we have lists. And anytime you do lists, you open yourself up for criticism. No problem. No problem at all. You have a problem with the list, let Amanda know, okay? She's got this whole new social media. She's like buzzing around here like the queen bee doing her thing. And she tells me, make sure you let people know. So this is what she tells me to say. Join the conversation on Twitter by tweeting us at MSG_varsity and then using the hashtag MSGV_top5. And she's going to put out some of your favorite tweets. If they're good ones, she's going to put it in. We think we've chosen 5 very good games, the best lacrosse games that we saw this spring. But that's the great thing. You know, the great thing about sport, I always laugh when people think there's a definitive answer to sport. There's not. There's not. Every day, every time they lace them up, they pull the helmet on, they put a stick in their hand, it's a new story that's about to be written. And you never know how the story's going to end. So, no definitive answer. But we think these are the top 5 games. So, the list is 5, subject to opinion, and that's fine. But at number 5, we thought the best game this year, listen, you know, as we said it in the football top 5 and the basketball, a lot of these things you see are postseason games. And when you're playing the team you played the year before in the championship a year later, and you lost to these cats, and now you find yourselves down in the fourth quarter 10-8, now you got a problem. Now you got to go play. And that's what Bronxville did. A year ago, in the 2013 C State Final, they lost to Casanova. These dudes from upstate that can play. They can play. All Casanova did after that win was string a whole bunch more wins together. And wouldn't you know it, now they come here. Now they come to Bronxville's backyard. If you want to say an hour and 10 minutes is the backyard, but it ain't like Bronxville had to travel upstate New York. They came to Hofstra, and Casanova brought a 34-game win streak. They brought it to Hofstra, and Bronxville said, not again. The number 5 game in the lacrosse season, according to MSGvarsity.com, Bronxville, Casanova, New York State C Championship game. So here we go. Pick it up, second quarter. Bronxville down 5-4. Not for long. Willie Duncan gets the goal, tied things at 5. Go to the third quarter. Fairfield getting a good one in Liam Lynch. Bronxville down a goal. Again, not for long. There's a pattern developing here. Casanova up now 8-7. Cole Willard, very talented. Snap of the left wrist. Casanova in good shape, up 9-7. Fourth quarter, Bronxville down 10-8. You talk about Matty Barons, the Georgetown bounder, being in the right place, gets the garbage goal, makes it 10-9. It looked beautiful in the box score. And then when Henry Grass, the junior bound for Hopkins, ties it at 10, woo! We got ourselves a game. Barons, he knew what it felt like a year ago. He was going to have none of it. Jump shot puts the guys from Bronxville up 11-10. Now they're on a personal 5-0 run. Grass to Michael Crawford. Crawford makes it 12-10. And when Duncan finds the back of the net, that's 5 consecutive goals for Bronxville. That terrible taste of losing in the state final from a year ago, gone. So is Casanova's 34-game win streak. So just like that, win streak gone, state championship heartache from a year ago, gone. The thing about Bronxville, when they were healthy, they were as good as anybody in the tri-state. 6 losses in the regular season, not a big deal. When Horgan had his guys all playing and they didn't get healthy until the end of the year, they were good. Nobody better down the stretch than these two cats we talked to, Grass and Matty Barons.
All season we were getting ready for this game, and obviously I've had a personal up and down with the surgeries and stuff like that, but you know, this made it all worth it. You know, all those sessions, you know, grinding it out. This was well worth the wait. I mean, losing that game stung obviously very deep within us. And, as soon as we were done with that game, we knew this was the game to come back to, and this was what was in our sights the whole season. So to come back and actually win this game was just a dream come true for us.
Yeah, I mean, we've never played a schedule that hard, so it was great to be battle tested, and we knew that come playoffs we were all going to be healthy, and it's awesome that we got clicking, me, Behrens, and Crawford at attack. So it's awesome, and can't wait. I have another year, so hopefully we're back here.
I would not be surprised if Grass and the boys are back. Nice little note. If you watch Quick Hits Long Island and Quick Hits Hudson Valley, you heard me challenge Lambert, the coach from East, and Horgan, the coach from Bronxville. Hey, guys, let's play in 2015. Timmy texts me. Game on! Bronxville will be playing Smithtown East in the regular season this year, and that will be a lot of fun. Smithtown East finished in our final top 20 at number 9. Bronxville finished at number 12. From number 5 to number 4, our 4th best game that we saw this year. And both teams have lacrosse tradition, but in the last 5 or 6 years, they haven't had a chance to ring the bell. Both Rocky Point, who won an overall state title in 2008, and Lynbrook, who plays in the shadows in Conference B, Class B in Nassau, of Garden City and Manhasset. I mean, Garden City won the last 2 Class B state championships. So Lynbrook was looking for their first Long Island title since 2000. This was a wonderful game. It was for the Long Island Class B championship. And it takes a lot to get Mr. Lax out of his seat when he's there just rooting. Mr. Lax was out of his seat in the final seconds of this one. Hofstra, May 30th. What a game. Tied at 1 first quarter. Jordan Fertig to Kyle Gardner. The goal, 2-1 Rocky Point. Rocky Point up 3-2. Now they're up 4-2. Alex Borgia makes it a 4-2 game. But just like that, Gordon Purdy to Austin Fable, and the Owls down just 1, 5-4. Fable, he's just getting hot. Somebody cover him. Nope. Now it's tied at 5. Somebody cover him. Somebody find 21. Nope. It's now 6-5. Third quarter, Lynbrook up 7-5. This time they cover Fable, and he finds Owen Daly, who was just spectacular in this game. That makes it 8-5. Rocky Point now down 2 goals. Not for long. Fertig to Brendan McGovern. 8-7. Lynbrook up 1. Not for long. Mike McVeigh to Mike Toy. That's a gift. 9-7. Fourth quarter, still 9-7. McVeigh to Gordon Purdy. That thing was rising. Son of a coach. He can play. 10-7. Look at Troy Ray. Just unbelievable. With the pole, splitting the defense, makes it a 1-goal game now. Now, closing seconds, it's still 10-9. McDougal with the huge save. Brendan comes up huge here down the stretch. Rocky Point going to get another shot. McDougal comes out. Tough Irishman. Gets in his face. Gets him out. Pushes Borgia out of the way. And that's the way it would end. So Lynbrook, their first LIC since 2000, they had to sweat it out. 10-9 the final score. McDougal really, really big down the stretch. Owen Daly really big throughout the game. Junior headed to Stony Brook a year from now. Flat out special.
It was great. All credit to our coaches and everyone out there, our wings. Everyone played great, and this is unbelievable. I can't believe we're here right now.
Owen, you guys have done a great job. You're 19-1 now. Talk to us a little bit about your team's mindset as this season opened. Did you see this happening, or were you caught by surprise at all?
We knew we were good. We fly under the radar. No one really knew about us, but we know we can play hard, and we've been grinding all season, and this is the outcome. This is the result, and I'm so happy right now.
He was terrific in that game. Rocky 1, good movie. Rocky 2, very, very good movie. Godfather 1, definitely better than Godfather 2. So what I'm trying to do, Miscongeniality, number 1, good. Number 2, never should have made. Okay? What I'm saying here, sometimes the sequel does not live up to the original. Little did we know when we saw Darien in early May playing New Canaan, their arch rivals, a New Canaan team that beat Darien twice last year en route to back-to-back FCAC titles. Little did we know that the first game was great. The second game would be even better. The third game would be for a state title. Little did we know that when Darien closed the 2013 season in an un-Darien-esque 12-8, little did we know that Braymeyer, who would pick up his 500th career victory this year, would get in that Darien lacrosse laboratory and start working on things. Little did we know that his little bit of work that turned into a lot of work would turn into absolute perfection. In 2005, Darien ran the table. They did not run the table in 2005 with a demanding schedule they played. Braymeyer got these cats to believe in team first. In this day and age, if everybody wants their lacrosse scholarship, blah, 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 this was about team. They were built from the back to the front with strength in the middle. They had it all. They had numbers. They had speed. They had a like for each other. And at the end of the day, that's what did it. Unselfish play enabled Darien 3 times this year to beat New Canaan. The first game in overtime, the second game in overtime, and the last game by 2. The New Canaan-Darien trilogy was worth the price of admission. Here we go. First meeting at Darien High School. Second quarter, it's 1-0 New Canaan. When Bryant-bound Kyle Cornell gonna knot this thing up at 1. 14 said, hey, you know what? This is pretty fun. Let me do it again. Remember this name, Ian Burgoyne. He finds KC on the doorstep, makes it 2-1. New Canaan gonna tie it at 2. Junior Michael Krause gonna play at Virginia in a year from now. Good goal. New Canaan gonna retake the lead at 3-2, and now it goes to 4-2. Watch Robbie Paul. Gonna get those arms extended and gonna rifle one home. Wow! Right by Hufford. 4-2 Rams. Woo! Could be 3 in a row. But Darien gonna fight. Andrew Pugliese. Face-off guy. And look at this guy. At the other end, John Reed. Remember that name. Bucknell getting a good one. That would tie it at 4. End of the half, Justin Meichner would get a goal to put New Canaan up 5-4. Watch Peter Lindley go to work. How does he score these goals? He seemingly does it all. It ain't luck. When you keep doing it, it ain't luck. That tied it at 5. It's now 6-6. Lindley going to get the feed from Harry Gillespie, and number 6 knows what to do with it. Turn and shoot. This time, Lindley, look at the head on the swivel here. Going to find Colin Minikis, weak side backdoor. Look at number 3, calling for the ball. He gets it. He beats Nader, 8-6 Darien. End of the third, it'd be 8-7. Fourth quarter, Darien up 9-8. Max Burgoyne, 15, lets it rip and ties it at 9. Darien going to retake the lead at 10-9. And then Justin Meichner, what a wonderful year he had, swoops the cage, ties it at 10, and that's how it ends in regulation. We're going to play some extra lacrosse. Look at Burgoyne, the Admiral, the junior, bound for Navy. Going to work, going to work, going to work. Going to find Reed, coming down the alley. Go home, everybody. Go home. 11-10 in overtime, the first meeting. The second meeting would be in the FCAC semifinals. And wouldn't you know, that game would go to overtime as well. First quarter, 1-0 Darien. Off the outlet, Hufford going to get it, and now they're running. And when Darien's running, they're fun. Who do? They get it to their finisher, Lindley, the UMass bounder. His first of 4 gives the Blue Wave a 2-0 lead against New Canaan. 2-1 now when Teddy Bossity going to tie it for the Rams. Gets inside that very good Darien defense. We are all even at 2. Darien, patient. Remember, no superstars, just a good team. Gillespie finds Reed. Reed finds the scoreboard. 3-2. New Canaan looking to tie this thing back up. And guess who does it? Meichner. What a wonderful individual effort. Comes topside and drops it in the back of the net. Lindley, we told you, it ain't luck. Because it just constantly happens. Look at him work his way in. from his knees, worm burner, 4-3. It's now 5-3 when super sophomore Jack Niffen, he's going to get the goal. That's just a great individual effort. 6-3 at the end of one. Second quarter, New Canaan cutting into the lead. Harry Stanton, what a year he had. 16, lets it fly. Darien's lead is just 1. Now New Canaan going to work the ball around here. And eventually you're going to get it to Krause. And Krause going to get himself another goal. Part of a 5-point night would tie it up at 6. Watch New Canaan here. Hufford, one of the few mistakes he makes this year. New Canaan forces the turnover. Sophomore Kyle Smith, great athlete, comes up with the goal, and the Rams have the lead at 7-6. This time, Darien going to create the turnover. I love the way Colin Minikis attacks sport. Either football or lacrosse, the guy's a gamer. He may be undersized, but you can't put any measure on his heart. He's got a huge ticker there coming up with the steal. This game would be tied at the half at 7. Third, Meichner gets the pass from Bossity, had a hat trick in the game. New Canaan retakes the lead at 8-7. Somehow Krause here, going to get in front of the net, loses his footing, but not his eyesight. Finds the back of the goal. New Canaan 9-7. The Darien unbeaten record on the line right here. New Canaan 9-8. When Bossity, look at this, couple times he did this in this game, worked that Darien defense and gets the goal. 10-8 Rams. And when Meichner going to turn top side and score, it's 11-8 with 8 minutes left. Darien's unbeaten season in major trouble. A chance to go to the FCAC championship in major trouble. But here comes Gumby. Lindley somehow gets it to go. 11-9. Then Colin Minikis. Look at this. Burgoyne. Always that head on the swivel. The Admiral finds Minnie, and Minnie makes it 11-10. And when Harry Gillespie gets his second goal of the game, just like that, things are all even. What a championship season it was. Down 3 with 8 minutes left. Wouldn't you know it, we're going to overtime again. In the first meeting, it was Burgoyne that set up Reed with the game winner. This time, Burgoyne, go home, everybody. I've played enough lacrosse. The Admiral gives Darien a 12-11 lead. They win, they go to the championship, they win the FCAC championship, and then they roll through the Class M playoffs. And wouldn't you know, who do they find? Their arch rivals. And Teddy Bossity got the Rams on the scoreboard just like that in the Class M state championship. New Canaan put a 22-0 record on the line in this game, and the Admiral Burgoyne doing his thing, creative, tied it at 1. Second quarter, Darien up 3-1. Meichner cuts it in half, 3-2. Boy, are they glad they have him back next year. Jack Niffen, he's going to be back for 2 years. Look at number 4, get to the cage, 4-2, Blue Wave. Third quarter now, it's 4-3. Kyle Cornell, Pressler's going to love him up at Bryant, makes it 5-3. Here's the guy you know that I love, Andrew Pugliese, was a difference maker this year for the Blue Wave, wins the faceoff. Usually he's going to fogo this thing. Not this time. He's going right to the goal. Beats Nader 6-3. Now Harry Gillespie, underrated, All-American. How can you be underrated if you're an All-American? Come on, quick. But there's so many guys on Darien. That thing makes it 7-3. Colin Minikis going to get the pass from Gillespie on the doorstep. Flick of the wrist. It's now 8-3. Fourth quarter, 9-7 Darien. And New Canaan was starting to come back and get some mojo in this game when Hufford makes a absolutely gigantic save on Meichner. That kind of sealed the deal, made it 9-7. This goal by Niffen makes it 10-7 as Darien goes on to win the Class M state championship. Niffen with 3, Darien 10-8. From 12-8 a year ago to unbeaten because the kids bought into the plan of their longtime head coach. An absolutely wonderful year. And yeah, there was a little bit of excitement after the championship victory.
To score in a game like this, it's just like it's been my dream for like ever to score in like a game, like a championship game like this. It's always been a dream, something I've always been working like towards, and like something I've always wanted to like do.
when that ball ripples the net and then you make the swoop and you come back up the field, what are you seeing? What's looking back at you?
Just the entire team just going like, yeah, Andrew, yeah, Doss. Just like, that's my nickname, Doss. And so it's just, it's awesome. It's just the best.
From the start, we went back to the books. We went back to the film. We looked at what we did wrong. We saw a lot of errors in our play. We weren't patient on defense. We were over aggressive. We went back. We looked at what we needed to do, and that was that. How
Much fun as a sophomore is it to ring the bell in the league and state title?
Oh, it's a great ride, but it's all has to do with these seniors. They really made us work in the offseason when no one is watching, and it paid off today.
You told me after you won the FCAC championship, or right after the New Canaan victory, that you had a lot of friends on this New Canaan team. And I know when this game ended, even before the official handshake, you went right to them. What did you say to those guys?
Just good game. Hell of a season, and I'll see you in the summer. I really do have some great friends. They're great competitors. They're going to be back on this field next year. We're playing, I'm sure, in states and FCX again, and one time during the regular season. And if I know one thing about them, that's they're going to be working hard to come back at us. So this is the best feeling in the world.
In the first two meetings, you kind of broke their heart at the end of the games. The assist to John Reed in the first game, the game winner in the FCAC semifinals. Today, you came out and broke their hearts early. Was that part of the game plan?
No, it's just I had the same matchup. I was feeling pretty confident during warm-ups. Felt good. The whole team was ready to go, and my teammates trusted me with the ball in some positions that I've been successful from before. And I tried some new stuff out there. A little wraparound was something that I've taken from my backyard, I guess, and put it here. But my teammates were taking shots that I gave them passes on, and it's really not me, it's them.
9-5, you kind of have the hay in the barn here, and then they pop two quick ones. I'm not going to say it's the greatest save you ever made at 9-7, but it was the biggest save you've ever made.
Yeah, Meichner had a great opportunity there right on the crease, and all game he had been shooting high, so I just knew if he got one last opportunity that I was gonna take away high and hope for the best. I mean, that's all you can do as a goalie when they're right on the crease, and fortunately enough, he shot it high just like I predicted, and it went right in, and we could get the ball out and clear and get it back to our offense.
From when you beat Greenwich in the FCAC title, your next three games were almost an inconvenience. How difficult is it when your kids know that they're going to win every game leading up to this game to keep them together? Or is it great that they all knew waiting at the end was New Canaan? Does that make it easier?
Well, I think you're missing the point of those three games. Those three games are a crescendo. They build it up, and it sort of worked that way. Every game got a little bit harder, not extensively harder, but it certainly allowed us to work on our game, allowed us to continue to prepare, and then it also you got 55 kids, 58, 57 kids, gives you an opportunity to get those young kids into a game like that, and so that's why the state tournament is kind of fun. Do I think we could go with a Division I tournament and have all the firepower you saw today, Greenwich and Staples and New Canaan and Darien and Ridgefield and Prep? Probably Connecticut might be a better challenge by that, like they do with hockey. But for today, we knew that our season was all riding on the third time with New Canaan, and everybody kept saying, oh, you can't beat a good team three times, and we proved them wrong today.
Absolutely spectacular year for Darien Lacrosse. They were the only unbeaten lacrosse team in the tri-state at the end of the season, and yet they finished number 2 in our final poll. Massapequa, Darien, Greenwich, Chaminade, Del Barton. So Darien was rooting big time for Smithtown East as we got to the Long Island Class A championship in lacrosse this year. Darien at number 2 needed Massapequa, because if Massapequa kept winning, we were not going to drop them. Their 2 losses were back in March, and they were not at full strength in those losses. You've heard me go on and on about that. Massapequa, with all the talent they've had through the years, had never won a Long Island lacrosse championship. Smithtown East, relatively new. Smithtown was supposed to win this year, not East, West. East did a wonderful job. Lambert's got something going really good there. They have a whole bunch of young kids. They will be the odds-on favorite to be the big boy lacrosse champion of Long Island next year. This year, it went to the Chiefs. Radomski's guys got their first ever state title at Massapequa. Smithtown East down 5-4. Tommy Scoff ties it at 5. Brian Willits, Jr., bound for UNC. Probably the fastest shot in the Tri-State. That's just a little dump shot right there. So the Bulls up 7-5. Joe Sagisi makes it 8-6. Smithtown East. Here come the Chiefs. Down 8-7. Ian Kirby to Jack Korber. Korber ties it at 8. Korber, a football star as well. This time Kirby bound for Towson. Going to get the goal there. College can wait on this night. The Chiefs had the lead at 8-7. Sagisi to Danny Rooney. We were tied at 9. This thing, folks, was a lot of fun. Korber going to untie it. Oh, somebody had to come up and find number 5. 10-9 Massapequa. That's the score when Bobby Burns going to shoot it. And Matt Valdini, he was great. Holds the lead at 10-9. Griffin Barnathan to Kirby. Kirby gives Massapequa a 3-goal lead. Game over? Not really. Massapequa up 6-4. 2-man advantage. Craig Burge shoots it. Sean Turner saves it. He played 30 seconds in the game. Turner gave life to the Bulls. Willits, bullet, 12-10. Kirby puts Massapequa up 13-10. At 13-11, John Danny Jealous going to get the goal and make it 13-12. And then we have flat-out, heart-pumping lacrosse at the end of this game. Time winding down. Valdini makes a little kick save, and time would just run out on Smithtown East as Massapequa wins their first ever Long Island title, 13-12. The final score. Absolutely spectacular. When you look at the firepower of this Massapequa lacrosse team, I think in their final 5 or 6 games, they scored over 80 total goals. And yet it was the goalkeeper, Valdini, in this game with all that firepower, had to make some huge saves. And he did. That's why the Chiefs are champs.
Yeah, but my coaches kept me in it. They were telling me to see the ball, move on from the next goal. So I just focused on the ball, saved a few, and tried getting it to the
Matt, you guys, you're giving up 8 at halftime. You go in the locker room. Clearly, you guys made some adjustments in the second half. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys did differently in order to try to slow down that Smithtown East offense?
Well, what we noticed was we knew 40 was the shooter, so we pushed out on him. And also they were getting a lot of off-ball movement. So, usually we don't let that up. So we pretty much just said any ball that gets in, check it down.
It was just chaotic, and your heart races and your blood pressure goes up, and you just hold your breath that defense can hunker down and the goalie can make a save. And thank God they took a shot wide and the clock ran out, and Long Island champs. It's an awesome feeling just for my players. My coaching staff is the best, and for all the players before us that couldn't get it done, we did it for them too, and just a great feeling. Just a great feeling.
Oh, boy. What a weight off Radomski's shoulders. They've expected so much, and Massapequa finally got it. And the weight was lifted off the shoulders in that Long Island championship because the next 2 looked anything like state semifinals and championship games. Massapequa could breathe. They could play. They didn't have to think. They just played. Crushed Niskayuna in the state semifinal. Beat them by 14 goals, and then crushed Fayetteville Manlius in the state championship by the tune of 16-2. Once they got by East, not only could they breathe, but they pretty much locked up the #1 spot in the Tri-State. So now, there's got to be that one game, that one magical game. And anytime a team takes an unbeaten record deep into the season, if you can get through the regular season unbeaten, wow. If you can get through the first rounds of the playoffs unbeaten, wow. And then you go up against a traditional power when you're technically the new kids on the block when it comes to championship lacrosse. There's a pedigree, but there's no banners to show for it. And that's what you got with Bergen Catholic. Joe Hammerly in his 20 years has done great things with the program. Hasn't hung that championship banner. They were this close. 19-0 going into the non-public A championship against a Del Barton team that had lost 3 games. only one in the state to Summit back in March. Their other losses to Chaminade and St. Anthony's. Del Barton playing their best lacrosse when it mattered most. All of us wanted to see Bergen Catholic play Chaminade. Because of Mother Nature, the game was canceled, never made up. We did not have that barometer game, but we had a classic game. The #1 game in lacrosse this year, according to MSGVarsity.com, the non-public A Championship of New Jersey, undefeated Bergen Catholic against 3-time defeated Del Barton. Del Barton wanted him, Del Barton got him, and what we got, an instant classic. That would go to extra lacrosse. You could call it the non-public A Championship, or you could call it the Mackey Bowl. That's John Mackey, whose son Connor played for Del Barton. He's in the green. His other son, Brandon, he played for Bergen. And Junior won the face-off, beating his older brother to get it started. It's now 1-0 BC. Michael Riley makes it 2-0. 4 minutes into the game. Well, 3.5 minutes into the game. Bergen's rolling. Riley going to get another opportunity here. And Steve Kowalski, the goalie for Del Barton, who got better and better as the season went on, kept it just a 2-goal game. Look at this athlete. Peter Welsh, first team All-Metro, coming up with the steal. And then Matty Pedrick, what a year he had in goal for the Crusaders, comes up with a big save. They were in this game because of the way he played in the postseason. Chris Blewett, boy, he's got skills. St. Joe's going to love him next year in Philly. This goal here, with 5:30 left in the third quarter, gave BC a 3-1 lead. But then Connor Mackey going to take the pass from Jordan Dowiak, and the Yale bounder makes this a 3-2 game. BC's lead cut in half, 4:47 left in the third. Emmett Cordray, boy, did he play great lacrosse in the postseason. Going to tie it at 3 with 1:16 remaining in the third. And when Dowiak, bound for Cornell, gets the hands free late with 6.6 in the third, Del Barton had a 4-3 lead. Dowiak loved it, so he said, let's do it again. This time from deeper out, second straight goal, puts the Green Wave up 5-3 with 9:34 left in regulation. Remember that word, regulation. Michael Riley going to take the pass from Blewett. He gets creative, going downstairs. It's 5-4 now. Here comes BC. And when Brendan Mackey says to his older brother Connor, I can score 2, we have even lacrosse at 7:02 left in regulation. Matty Pedrick, look at that save. 3 minutes left in regulation, keeps it at 5. Now we go to overtime. Guess who? The Mackey boys. And Brendan Mackey going to win the face-off again for the Crusaders. Fun little storyline in the game. First shot in overtime goes to BC. And Kowalski going to make the save on Riley. Made some big saves, Steve did in this game. And then in the second overtime, Dowiak going to find J.J. McBride. He had been cramping up. No cramps there. Go home, everybody. We just found the best lacrosse game in the Tri-State. And Del Barton hands Bergen Catholic their first loss of the year, a heartbreaker, in double overtime as our number 7 team at that point of the year, Del Barton, beat our number 2 Bergen Catholic team 6-5. A wonderful, wonderful game. Congratulations to Bergen Catholic on a truly spectacular year. The scoreboard will say they lost the game. Hammerly building a program. Del Barton, the established program. And afterwards, you can imagine there were a whole bunch of happy Green Wavers. Let's start with Chad Otterman, the big pole.
Yeah, it feels good. It's your senior year. You really want to make something special. And we haven't won the TOC since 2006, so we're trying to be that class that brings it back to the school and brings back that tradition and legacy.
Is there any greater drama for you than overtime? You got a lethal scorer like Blewett with the ball on his stick, and he's one-on-one with you.
It's nerve-wracking, but that's why I play the game. I love that. I love those situations, and I like to think I thrive in them, and that's why we're victorious. So I'm happy about it.
You know you're playing a team in Bergen Catholic that can score goals. They average 14 goals a game. You yourself and your defense hold them to 5 goals. This is quite an effort by the guys in the back.
Oh yeah, it was a great effort by the defense. You know, they really didn't have that many shots. The ones that the defense did let up. You know, I was able to get on a lot of them. So, I mean, it was a great defensive effort by the whole team.
Well, JJ, you've spent a lifetime scoring goals in the game of lacrosse. And in this state championship, you didn't have one as we went into overtime. But the one you got is the one you'll always remember.
Yeah, you know, I was getting my kind of looks early in the game. But the goalie was making some great saves on me. And the last one, I kind of was able to get lucky and let it go. So it was a good feeling.
Now, this state championship has been scheduled for a long time, but yet the good Dr. McBride still found a way to go to Ireland for this one?
I know, selfish of him, but, you know, I'm sure he'll miss this one, but we lucky got a few more games left that he'll be able to make.
Listen, the McBride family, lacrosse is important to you guys. You know, you were a little tyke running around watching your brother Jack here take this program to great heights. It's the last time Del Barton has won the whole thing, the TOC, and now you're only a couple steps away.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Del Barton lacrosse has been huge in my family my entire life, and I grew up watching Del Barton win state championships, and my brother keeps telling me every day that we got to bring it back to Del Barton, and that's what we're hoping to do this year, and hopefully we'll deliver.
Well, after that game, Del Barton would win 2 more, including their first Tournament of Champions since 2006, when Jack McBride was a junior for the Green Wave. As you know, we love the McBride family. They're great people. So it was a lock when Jimmy called up the good doctor and said, hey, we want to come over to the house and sit down and talk to JJ. He's like, come on over, guys. Jimmy and JJ close out and reflect on the best lacrosse game in the Tri-State this year.
Well, it was our #1 lacrosse game of the year. Del Barton 6-5 in double overtime over Bergen Catholic. And here's the guy, J.J. McBride, number 14 in your Delby program. He ends it. J.J., wow. I mean, that is a game you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, without a doubt, it was a special game, and it was great to come out on top, and it's a game I'll never forget.
It had everything you want. Bergen Catholic, Del Barton. Bergen Catholic is undefeated. They're the #1 team in the state of New Jersey. They've never won a state title. They've never beaten Del Barton. You had the brothers versus brothers, the Mackeys, Connor and Brendan. I mean, this is a game, if you're looking for storylines, it had everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, going into the game, we've been hearing about Bergen Catholic, how talented of a team they were all year, and you know, we were the underdogs in that game, and we were happy with that. And we just went in there and tried going playing our best, and that's what we did. And we were able to come out on top.
You know, you're a laxer. You're from a big family. Lacrosse is in some way part of the family business here at the McBrides. And your move to win it in the second overtime is something you probably perfected right here in your backyard. You got a pass from Dowiak from the backside, and you come strong.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I practice out here a ton and practice that move all the time, and luckily I was able to make it count that one time.
A player like yourself, you're a leader on Del Barton, you're a senior. You guys were eliminated from the playoffs a year ago in the semifinals from Seton Hall Prep. There was a sense of urgency to win everything this year. And then you get to overtime, where one shot can win it. Bergen Catholic had some looks, and you're an attackman. That could be the loneliest place on earth. You could just sit and watch.
Yeah, exactly, especially being an attackman. Every time they have the ball, you're kind of holding your breath, making sure, you know, the defense will kind of bail you out right there. And then, you know, we knew in that overtime we just needed to keep composed and, you know, get it done, and luckily we were able to do that.
I always think that when it comes to lacrosse in overtime, there's 2 different kinds of player. There's the player that, okay, if the ball comes to me, maybe I'll make something happen. And then I think there's the guy like you who's like, get me the ball, because I'm going to make something happen.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about that. But, you know, in a big game, I don't mind the ball on my stick. And, you know, I try to, you know, get in the win for our team. And that's what I was luckily fortunate to do.
Yeah, and listen, you make that move. It has everything. It's dramatic. It's the second overtime. The losing team will see their season come to an end. The winner is going to move on. When the realization comes that the ball slipped behind the Bergen Catholic keeper, what do you remember about that moment?
You know, I really don't remember that much. You know, it it went in, I just kind of went crazy. I went and hugged my teammates, and it was just so surreal. It kind of was like a fantasy at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, I know when you're playing in a game like that, you're a competitor, you're focused, you're in the moment. But then afterwards, when you have time to go home and think back of what a classic that was and how much tension was in that game, did you kind of think, man, that was an absolute instant classic of a lacrosse game?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's a game I'll never forget. You know, playing with such high stakes in overtime, especially double overtime, with such a great opponent and able to come out on top and continue our season was unbelievable.
That is the road to a championship many times, no matter what sport. You guys would go on to win the entire state of New Jersey. There was no real drama in any other postseason game except that night at Livingston High School against Bergen Catholic. And the drama is what that game was all about.
Yes, I mean, you know, Barton Catholic was such a good team, and I thought they were probably one of the most talented teams in the state. And that non-public A state championship was unbelievable, and there was a lot of talent out there that night.
How many would you say you've put into this cage since 5 years old when you first took a shot out here?
A good amount. Definitely a lot.
Number 14.
Thank you very much.
J. McBride, the Green Wave of Del Barton. What a game, what a night. Our #1 lacrosse game of the season. Del Barton, 6-5 in overtime over Bergen Catholic. Number 14.
JJ and JC, thank you very much. Del Barton, Bergen Catholic, the #1 game we feel that we saw this year. Number 2, Smithtown East, Massapequa, the Long Island Class A Championship. Number 3, grouped in 3. All 3 of the new Canaan, Darien lacrosse games make up our number 3. Number 4, Lynbrook, Rocky Point. The Owls win their first LIC since 2000. And Bronxville at number 5 snapped Casanovia's 34-game win streak to win their first ever state title. And believe me, folks, they are built to win a whole bunch more. They really have it rolling up there. That's how we broke it down. You don't like it? Then let us know. How do you do it? You get involved with our social media. Here we go. Tell us what you think about our top 5 by tweeting us at MSG_varsity and using the hashtag MSGV_top5. All right? Get involved. We would love to know what you think. And some of our tweets, some of your tweets, if we like them, Amanda is going to retweet them. So let's see how we do in the social media world. Super 6, okay, so now we've broken down the lacrosse top 5, the basketball top 5, the football top 5. Now we're going to put them in a hopper, spin them around, and see which make our top 6 games, our Super 6 games of the year, and we will announce that July 30th at 7. The Super 6. Well, I can guarantee you this. It'll either be from football, basketball, or lacrosse. It's been a fun school year. Been a lot of fun. The lacrosse season, some wonderful, wonderful games. You know, it's so funny. I get destroyed on social media, in person, whatever, as being a New Jersey guy. Isn't it strange that our #1 football event was not New Jersey? It was Long Island. Isn't it amazing when I talk about how good Long Island lacrosse is, and yet our #1 lacrosse event wasn't from Long Island, it was from New Jersey? You figure it out. Have a great summer, everybody.